Welcome to the quarterfinals. This hand is a keep because it doesn't do anything. Actually, it's a keep because it has enough lands and it has Fires of Invention and a Jace. So, you know, as long as my opponent is not raring out of the gates, I'll probably be okay. I definitely would like to draw spells. I think Teferi, the cheap Hardened Scales. Ooh, this could be a difficult matchup. Verdict helps. Teferi would be good. Narset would be fine. Gideon would be fine. Yeah. Another Scales. Don't be a Thoughtseize. Stone Coil as a 3/3. It's a big one. Alright. Well, I'm going to need some help. Take my 3 damage. Winding Constrictor. I think I'm just going to verdict that before it gets out of hand. Because I can imagine him going like, Vivian, plus you lose. Don't really want to do that. I feel vindicated. So this is a time to cast Fae of Wishes. So I want to use Granted. I'm going to get Pithing Needle and cast Pithing Needle on Vivian, Arcbow Ranger, and play land. That was a mistake. That was definitely a mistake. I should have played the Plains, because then I would be able to scry with Castle Vantress. Okay, so we've got Elvish Mystic and Mutavault. Drawn from Dreams. Okay, let's play Drawn from Dreams, Nahiri, and Fae of Wishes, and then play Jace, Plains, plus Jace. Now, currently, my opponent is incapable of killing Jace without an extra card. Even sacrificing the Hashed Up Oasis would get the Mutavault to 5 power, which would then go to 4 because of the Jace. Opponent is a little flooded. 6, 7. This looks like a big Stone Coil. Or a really, really big Hydra. But it doesn't have haste, so let's go ahead and scry. Elspeth Conquers Death. I think I'm bottoming that because there's nothing it hits that's relevant right now, and there's probably not a whole lot of hits in his deck. So let's go ahead and do I want to scry I don't think so. I think I can go ahead and draw. Detention Sphere is great. So let's go ahead and Verdict, because that 16-17 trample does need to go away. And then Detention Sphere on the Hardened Scales to get rid of those. That takes a lot of the potential explosiveness of my opponent's deck out, and then I'll just go ahead and plus Jace so that it doesn't die to a roided up Mutavault via the Hashtag Oasis. Could be a Walking Ballista. Yep. Alright, so let's go ahead and scry. Teferi and Verdict. Don't think I'm in the market for Teferi. I think I will keep Verdict. I'm not scrying right now, because I knew there's a Verdict on top. What could I wish for? I could wish for the God Pharaoh. That's not great. I could wish for the Dragon God. Kinda eh. I could... Let's kill the Ballista. Because, well, I just don't want him having a big Ballista running around. So he's going to shoot down Jace. Jace is going to go to 3. Alright, let's draw a card. Or draw some cards. I think I'll just take Ardenvale. Ardenvale. And then I can go play Ardenvale, Nahiri, plus loot away, Clifftop Retreat. Ooh, Teferi next. Nice. Don't really need this stop since I'm probably not using Ventress anytime soon, and I'm just going to be using Ardenvale. Alright. Got a game. So I want Needles. I want Verdict. I'll put in the Clarion, but it's not great, simply because their creatures get way too big, way too fast. I don't like Gideon of the Trials. I feel like they can get around it pretty well. I think Chandra is probably not good. I think the 2 Elspeth Conquers Deaths are not good. So I think Vivian is probably the most important needle target, followed by Walking Ballista. I think it's probably fine to just name in the dark Vivian. This is probably one of the harder aggro matchups, just because they go really big and Clarions are not super devastating. Yeah, let's keep this. It's an Elvish Mystic. Play Ventress. Thoughtseize. Okay then. I could see him taking any of these three, most likely either Needle or Clarion. It really depends on the hand, whether Clarion or Needle is the correct pick. Like, obviously, if there's a Planeswalker in his hand, Needle's the right pick. And if he's got a bunch of cheap creatures and no Planeswalker, then Clarion. So, okay. Assumption there is a good Planeswalker in his hand. Is there anything that I'm likely to want to wish for, or should I just play a blocker that can also like randomly ping Iswalkers? I see a world where I wish for Elspeth Conquers Death, but I guess it depends a lot on what is my next draw. Let's play Fae of Wishes. It's possible I should have Sacred Foundried there, and I actually think, yeah, that was definitely a mistake on my part not to Sacred Foundry, because I'm expecting there to be a Vivian, and then Vivian's going to plus on Mystic, and I'm going to be feeling very bad that I didn't put the Mystic, kill them, have the mana to just trade for the Mystic next turn. So really, I need something to deal with. Oh, well, that works. Alright, so let's just go ahead and play that, and then play Teferi, and bounce the Mystic. I mean, I'm not super fond of drawing this many Sacred Foundries. I think that's rather more than I need. So I'm lucky that there's no scales yet. But there could be a, I guess, very unlikely that my opponent has a Winding Constrictor or Scales unless they just drew it, because they would have played it, either just drew it last turn or this turn, because they would have played it on the turn they played Thoughtseize Land Pass. The only thing I know for sure is that there's a Mystic, and I don't really have any clues about any other potential cards. Okay, Llanowar Wastes, and 4 mana for a Ballista. So I just can't let the Ballista keep growing, so what I'm going to have to do, and it's going to be really awkward, is hit Vivian, and then play Clarion, and that's going to let his Ballista kill my Fae, and do 2 damage to me. Really, I'm going to need something good here, because this Vivian's gonna just keep getting some very good value. If only I had kept the Needle instead of it getting Thoughtseized. I mean, I was right that Needle was pretty important. Here's where I need Elspeth Conquers Death. Maybe I shouldn't have boarded out all of them. Should I also board out Big Chandra? Yes. Do I Clarion here? I think I just play Oath of Teferi. It doesn't matter what I flicker. And then depends on how my opponent does stuff, but I will probably just, well, we'll see what they're left with, but it's most likely that I go Elspeth ++. The Walking Ballista, why? Why is it a Walking Ballista? Here's where I want Verdict. So if it's a plus on that doesn't include the elves, I'm going to have to... If the Walking Ballista stays at 3 toughness, then I definitely Clarion. I don't think the Walking Ballista is going to stay at 3 toughness. Problem is that Arcbow Ranger is going to give Trample too. It's just going to be nasty. Opponent is definitely thinking pretty hard. What they should probably do, from my perspective, is just go plus add 2 counters to the Ballista, which unfortunately they did figure out. And now I take 5 down to 9. I think I'm just dead. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. That doesn't save me. I am definitely very, very dead. Because he can add 4 more counters to the Ballista and just shoot me to death. Yep, I needed needles. I just needed that needle to resolve, to land. Or for there to not be, you know, a Vivian and multiple Ballistas. Yeah, okay. Saw the line. Not that it was a very hard line to find. Yeah. That Oath of Teferi should be an Elspeth Conquers Death. Alright. Alright. This time, be on the play. Have a little bit better of a draw. Maybe have a fire, some card draw, something. Have a needle friggin' Vivian. Does show off why I don't like Clarion, though, because it just, like, I had a Clarion and I just looked at the board and was like, this isn't saving me. But at the same time, I can't go down Clarion. I just like need enough sweepers for all the different bodies. I need to be able, like, being able to kill elves and a couple other early creatures on 3 is super important. So I just need a good draw, and preferably for their draw not to be totally nuts. Like, give me a Needle, Omen of the Sea, Teferi, Fires, and some lands. Yeah. I don't think I was going to win, even if Oath of Teferi was a Elspeth Conquers Death, though. Maybe I do better. It's still pretty sketchy, though. Because it would have just been 2 turns of less Vivianing. I guess that might have been relevant. Yes, I want to play first. I can't keep this hand. It doesn't have enough lands. I mean, I can... Oh, God. Oh, God. Why? I'm so tempted because I do have Omen of the Sea, so if I get 1 land, I'm in good shape. I have a Pithing Needle. Fae of Wishes, Teferi, Jace, and Fires are like the most I could wish for. No. I'm not going to talk myself into keeping a shit hand. This is a keep. I bought him Fae of Wishes. I keep 2 Clarions and Nahiri. Opponent mulligans to 6. That's nice. Alright. So, find me some needles. Find me not Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Some way of getting card advantage, maybe. Not Elspeth Conquers Death, although that will be good if I can draw some more lands. Need some cheap stuff. Nissa voice is not what I want to see. Ardenvale. So it feels bad, but I am going to Clarion so that he can't play a Vivian next turn. Specifically because I do not want to see a Vivian next turn. Like, that would be really bad. Not the best bargain. Like, I killed 1 Elvish Mystic that already tapped for mana, but... Winding Constrictor. Why? Alright, well... Do I regret my choices? Maybe a little. Maybe a little. Now, if I draw a land and he has Vivian, then at least I'm in okay shape against that. If I don't draw land, I can still Narset, try to find a Needle, and play the Needle. Hardened Scales. Okay, if Hardened Scales and activate Mutavault is the best he can do, not feeling too bad about this. Land? Land's good. Let's... Elspeth Conquers Death on Voice of Zendikar. Now there might be another Voice of Zendikar. I wouldn't be too surprised about that. I do get to go Nahiri, exile the Hardened Scales, and then if he kills Nahiri, I get to bring it back with the ECD, and if he doesn't kill Nahiri, then it's still in play. One, two, three. Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. Okay, yeah, there is another one. Spells are more expensive, and I'm gonna Nahiri. And exile Hardened Scales. Play the Clifftop Retreat. Not saving it. I considered saving the Clifftop Retreat to discard to Nahiri, but there's a possibility that I like draw land, cast Narset Impulses for a 4-drop, and I really want to cast a 4-drop. And also, I'm going to eventually want double white to activate Ardenvale, assuming that I ever am empty-handed and last long enough to do so. The Mutavault is a bit annoying, but I think if I can Needle Nissa and his hand continues to not be cards that I'm very afraid of, I'll be in good shape. There's no Vivian coming down this turn, so that's a blessing. The worst thing for me would be like a Walking Ballista. Alright, what's happening, guy? What's happening? This position would be a good spot for an Elspeth. Teferi would be playable, but not awesome. Second Mutavault. Alright. Two cards left. There's not much point in him playing an enchantment. There's not much point in him killing Nahiri. He gets to activate Nissa, activate Mutavault, attack for 2, potentially activate Mutavaults, and downtick Nissa to attack for 5 and have 3/3 Mutavaults in the future. That's a pretty good play. Even if I take 5, at least I'm gaining 2 off Planeswalkers right now. So that's going to keep me alive for a bit. Needle would be super good. Winding Constrictor. Oh man. This is going to hurt. Yeah, I need a Verdict. Yeah, I really need a verdict. Shit. That was extremely painful. Okay, so let's go. Oh god. I can't cast verdict. Right? I don't have the blue for it. Alright. There's not a universe where I don't cast Narset, and I have to cast Narset like this. And by like this, I mean like this. Wow, that Winding Constrictor did some work. I should have played the Beacon first for one more life. Although I might need to loot. No, I'm going to be exiling a creature. Shit, I should have gained one more life. Alright, so I can get it to Fairy. Alright, so what happens if I play to Fairy, bounce Winding Constrictor? I'm at 17. Yeah, it's got to... Teferi is 100% the pick here, because it's the only thing that, like, actually helps me this turn. So let's go ahead and play Teferi. And pray that I draw a needle when I bounce the Constrictor. I have to bounce the Constrictor. There isn't another play that makes any sense. Like... bouncing the plants is just wrong. Needle, 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 needle. Not a needle, but a good card. Okay. So, now, let's see. I just gotta exile a plant. Alright. I think I get another turn, but those are big mutabolts. Sorry for the squeaky chair. So, potentially speaking, plays land, Winding Constrictor, activates both mutavaults, downticks Nahiri. The mutavaults are currently 4/4s, so that's 4, 8, 10, gets 6 counters, putting me at 1. So that, if there's a land, I might go to 1. I don't like that position. Also possible, yeah, so I could go to 1. Makes a plant. Plays Winding Constrictor. Does he kill Narset or just go face? He should kill Narset, in my opinion. Yeah, so he's going to kill Teferi, Narset, and hit me. Give me a needle. Give me a freaking needle. Clarion. Clarion kills all of those. Can I die through a Clarion? This is 4, this is 4, no. So I can take a lot of damage. Don't be something nasty. Stone of Coil for 2. And activate both Mutavaults, okay? Take 10 down to 3. Just want a needle. That's all I need is a needle. So I do live for 1 turn. Assuming that the Hash Up Oasis doesn't kill me. Oh, he's not using the Hash Up Oasis. Vivi, oh, come on. They both have trample and I die, right? God damn it. Ah, so close. If I just needed to ever draw a needle or ever see a needle in that entire match.